This is Hush Dreams channel. Today I am going to start reading The Little Prince for you. It's one of my favorite books, so I really do hope that you enjoy me reading it for you. Let's get started with the first chapter. This is to Leon Worth. I ask for parents of the children who may read this book for dedicating it to a grown-up. My first and most serious reason is that he is the best friend I have in the world. My second reason is that this grown-up understands everything, even books about children. And my third reason is that he lives in France, where he is hungry and cold. He needs cheering up. If all those reasons are not enough, I will dedicate the book to the little boy from whom this grown-up grew. All grown-ups were children once, although few of them remember it. And so I correct my dedication to Leon Worth when he was a little boy. Chapter 1. Once, when I was 6 years old, I saw a beautiful picture in a book about the primeval forest called The True Stories. It showed a boa constrictor swallowing an animal. Here's a copy of the drawing. The book stated, boa constrictors swallow their prey without chewing it whereupon they can no longer move, and sleep for 6 months, digesting it. I then reflected deeply upon the adventures in the jungle, and in turn succeeded in making my first drawing with a colored pencil. My drawing number 1 was like this. I showed my masterpiece to grown-ups and asked them if my drawing frightened them. They answered, "Why should anyone be frightened by a hat?" My drawing did not represent a hat. It was supposed to be a boa constrictor digesting an elephant. It was supposed to be a boa constrictor digesting an elephant. So I made another drawing of the inside of the boa constrictor to enable the grown-ups to understand. They always need explanations. My drawing number 2 looked like this. The grown-ups then advised me to give up my drawings of boa constrictors, whether from the inside or the outside, and devote myself instead to geography, history, arithmetic, and grammar. Thus it was that I gave up a magnificent career as a painter at the age of 6. I had been disappointed by the lack of success of my drawing number 1 and my drawing number 2. Grown-ups never understand anything by themselves, and it is rather tedious for children to have to explain things to them time and again. So I had to choose another job, and I learned to pilot airplanes. I flew more or less all over the world, and indeed geography has been extremely useful to me. I am able to distinguish between China and Arizona at a glance. It is extremely helpful if one gets lost in the night. As a result of which I have been in touch throughout my life with all kinds of serious whispered softly and gravely, "Please draw me a sheep." When a mystery is too overpowering, no one dared not to disobey. Absurd as it seemed to me, 1,000 miles from any human habitation and in danger of death, I took a sheet of paper and my fountain pen out of my pocket, but suddenly remembered that my studies had been concentrated on geography, history, arithmetic, and grammar, so I told the little chap, a little crossly, that I did not know how to draw. He replied, "That doesn't matter. Draw me a sheep." Since I had never drawn a sheep, I drew for him one of the two pictures I have drawn before, that of the boa constrictor from the outside. And I was astonished to hear the little fellow saying, "No, no, no, I don't want an elephant inside a boa. A boa constrictor is a very dangerous creature, and an elephant is very cumbersome. Everything is very small where I live. I need a sheep. Draw me a sheep." So I drew. He looked at it carefully and said, "No, that one is already very thick. Draw me another one." And I drew. My little friend said gently and indulgently, "Don't you see that it's not a sheep, it's a ram? It has horns." Once again I made another drawing, but it was rejected too, like the previous ones. "This one is too old. I want a sheep that will live for a long time." My patience had run out by then. I was in a hurry to start dismantling my engine as soon as possible, so I scribbled this drawing, and I explained, "That is only the box. The sheep you asked for is inside." But I was very surprised to see the face of my young judge lighting up. "That is exactly the way I wanted it. Do you think the sheep will need a lot of grass?" "Why?" "Because where I live, everything is so small. There should be enough grass for him. I have given you a very small sheep." He bent his head over the drawing. "Not so small that. Look, he has gone to sleep." And that's how I met the little prince. Chapter 3. It took me a long time to find out where he came from. The little prince, who asked me so many questions, never seemed to hear mine. It is thanks to the odd word, here and there, that everything was so revealed to me. For instance, when he saw my airplane for the first time, "I shall not draw my airplane. That would be far too complicated for me." He asked me, "What is that object?" "It is not an object. It flies. It's an airplane. It's my airplane." And I was proud to be able to tell him that I could fly. He cried out then, "What? You dropped down from the sky?" "Yes," I replied modestly. "Oh, that's funny." And the little prince broke into a lovely peal of laughter, which annoyed me no end. I like my misfortunes to be taken seriously. "So, you two come from the sky? From which planet?" I immediately perceived a ray of light in the mystery of his presence. I once questioned him. "So, you come from another planet?" But he didn't reply. He nodded gently whilst gazing at my airplane. "It is true that on that you can't have come from very far away." And he sank into a long reverie. Then, taking my shape out of his pocket, he contemplated his treasure. You can imagine how my curiosity was aroused by this